vegan food where I live. I ain't found nowhere yet, but I'm gonna find something. It's out there hiding somewhere.
It's definitely hiding. But yeah, man, we live. We live. Y'all gotta understand. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another edition of the Elite Mancast. And this week, man, we got some men's mental health to talk about. We're gonna talk about mental health on all aspects and things that we can do to better ourselves at curing and correcting. Let me say that because the cure is already within you. You just have to take it. But you know
That's
what
it.
we've been doing is educating, helping people, bringing awareness to situations that some people might not be aware of, or some situations that we just need to talk about
Yeah,
out loud. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we talk with amongst ourselves and we talk to ourselves, and we really don't get any issues solved. So tonight, man, we're gonna have these discussions, man. It's just me and Michael tonight, so y'all know it's always a pleasure. Mike,
for
what you
real.
got a little bit of this here?
Well, Men's Mental Health Month. It seems like every other month there's mental health for somebody. But
Yeah.
men's mental health is one of those things. It's always there. It's always surrounding us. But I wrote down some stuff tonight because I wanted to get straight to the point, especially in light of things that's been going on lately.
Mm.
So I would just read what I wrote. That way I ain't got to try to think about it. So I have men's mental health is a broad subject that goes far beyond depression and anxiety. It touches every area of a man's life, his thoughts, emotions, relationships, purpose, and overall well being. It's about mastering your emotions, managing your stress, building resilience, finding purpose, and becoming the kind of man who can withstand life's storms without losing himself. And tonight, what I actually wanted to do, since we didn't specify a topic, is I wanted to talk a little bit about anger. Being there's all the
Mm.
stuff going on in the news, and they're talking about these men losing it, killing their kids, killing their wives, and stuff
Mm.
like that. So, if you don't mind, I would like to touch on that as well as other aspects
Yeah,
of
yeah,
mental health,
man.
because
Yeah.
it's a
It's a
lot
broad
going on.
subject, and it's people that don't realize that the thing that they're going through may be, I'm gonna say, growing through. The thing that they're growing through
Hmm.
may be a mental health issue that they just look at as normal because a lot of these things wasn't addressed as we were growing up as children. So
Right.
yeah, man, we can touch on all of it.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like,
the toxic lifestyle we all grew up in.
well, some of us did and some of us didn't, but it's a lot of us, more majority did than didn't. But
Right.
yeah, what I was looking up on this research is like we had about 19.7% of all Black adults experience mental health. In any given year, it's just like the percentage is going up, basically, that
Right.
we really need to start paying attention to, because the more and more we get sidetracked from the realities of life, and we start trying to say it's this and it's that, we really need to focus on the main issue that's causing us, and that's childhood trauma that we didn't solve. We
Right.
have to go back to childhood in order to solve these adult problems that we having right now with mental health, because a lot of us
Hmm.
don't realize that this mental health thing is a childhood thing, a childhood trauma. A lot of it doesn't come from adulting, you know. But
Right.
but because some of us still have children at very early ages, and we didn't get the correct parenting skills because there's no guide, no booklet for being a parent, you know. So
Right.
that might drive you to being angry. That might drive you to feeling resentment towards your mother, your father, whatever the case may be. So we all have to always address that inner child and let that inner
Yeah.
child know that it's okay. things, I forgive you for not understanding, things like that. Say that to yourself in the mirror, though. Look yourself in the
Hmm.
eyes and you tell yourself, hey, man, I forgive you for not understanding, forgive you for not being aware, because that was that, you know. But Mike, what you
Yeah.
got for me? Go ahead and do your thing.
With anger, all right. So anger is a natural human emotion. It's neither good nor bad by itself. It's often a signal that something feels unfair, threatened, disrespected, or out of control. And the problem is usually not the anger itself, it's how that anger is expressed. So, a simple definition: anger is an emotional response to a perceived threat, injustice, frustration, or a violation of personal boundaries. So, when managed properly, anger can motivate positive action. When left unmanaged, it can damage relationships, careers, health, and decision making. And a lot of people, well, a lot of men struggle with anger because they don't realize that it's usually coming from something else. It's like people see the anger. And I was listening to a podcast earlier, and the guy was saying a lot of these issues, like growing up as a kid, as young boys, especially young black boys, you're always told, suck it up, be a man, don't cry. You can't show fear. You can't show any kind of emotion. You just got to tough it out, act like nothing bothers you. The problem is, all these things come out, so you can't really express any other emotion except anger.
Mm.
Anger seems to be the only emotion that is allowed among men. The problem is when we show anger, it's usually in a destructive way.
Right.
Some men have already learned early enough that to take the anger and use that as motivation to get in the gym, work your body. If you're training for a specific event, use the anger to motivate you to push you further. But 9 times out of 10, people end up in jail or in the grave because men, instead of handling it the way they should, they're just reacting instead of responding to what's actually going on. And 9 times out of 10, they don't even realize that the anger is actually something else. So, as
Right.
an example, anger is often called a secondary emotion because it frequently covers deeper feelings such as hurt, fear, shame, rejection, anxiety, grief, and loneliness. And a man may say he's angry when in reality he's feeling disrespected, overwhelmed, or emotionally wounded. So,
But see, I
this is,
think with that when the researchers they really not understanding when you feel like you're being disrespected, true enough, we don't know how to, some men don't know how to direct that anger. But when me now, at this age and the work that I've done on myself, um, when I feel like I'm disrespected, I speak about it instead of reacting to it,
hmm
you know. And that's where we've, in the past, where we've made a lot of mistakes at because we like to react on that disrespect.
yes,
Instead of saying, hey, bro, I feel like, I ain't gonna even say I feel like I'm gonna say I believe that you should, address me in this kind of way or that kind of way.
right,
Don't say, hey man, what's up with you? All that popping off, that ain't nothing. Going loud, the
right,
loudest person in the room, if you really know yourself, if you know the loudest person in the room is not gonna do nothing. That's
right.
why they trying to get the attention of everybody so they can bow out
Exactly.
gracefully, you know. So with that,
Yeah.
I'm looking at this. It says experts believe that mental health problems amongst Black men are often underdiagnosed,
Yeah.
undertreated because of the stigma. That lack of access to care and expectations that they don't trust the system. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
So it's like once we get out of that thing right there, men, we feel like, man, I ain't gonna go to the doctor until I lose my arm. My arm don't work, doc. What's wrong with it? It's like if we address
Yeah.
these things before, We can beat these anger issues. We can beat this disrespect. We can beat all of these type of illnesses, man, because it's an illness. If you get
Yeah,
mad about everything, that's an illness, man.
that's a deep rooted illness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, a lot of it, like I know for me, doing the personal development stuff actually helped because doing the reading, thinking about what's being said, it's like it's like when I went to jail,
Yeah.
when I was in court, the judge told me that I was angry. And I told her that I was when she told me I was angry, like I went to jail for putting two cops in the hospital, two German
Okay.
cops.
Okay.
So she was telling me, well, they made up a story that I was mad arguing with somebody, which I don't argue. I'll walk away and leave you standing there rather than argue. But anyway, they did this, but the guys put their hands on me as I walked by. You know how in the old cowboy movies, a guy gets disrespect, he turns around to walk away. Do like, don't turn your back, grab him on the shoulder, yank him back. That's what the guy did.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to him, that when he yanked me back, I just turned right back into him and hit him. Both of these cops I only hit one time. They laying on the floor crying like little girls, and I turned around and walked away. But the
Yeah.
judge says I was angry because of the story they told. I told her I wasn't angry. She said, well, how do we know that you weren't angry? I told her because you're still alive. Because I have gotten angry to the point where I nearly crushed the guy's skull.
Right.
I beat him down and I was ready to take his life. Only reason
Right.
I didn't is because somebody grabbed me and pulled me away. I mean, really, bear hugged me, lifted me off the ground, and moved me and started talking to me until I calmed down. So there's a thing about anger. People think that black men are angry anyway. It's like
Right.
a known stigma. There's always the
Mhm.
angry black man. As a matter of fact, the angry black woman. But a lot of
Right.
that's not anger.
No.
Because if I was angry, I would not stop. I would go until I got tired, exhausted, and can't move anymore.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people don't think. So they think a lot of things are anger. But us, like a lot of these other, like guys getting mad, like somebody gets disrespected, especially when it's somebody that's close to you, like in a relationship. If you
Mhm.
arguing about something, and a woman usually knows which buttons to push if she wants to make you mad. The
Yeah.
thing is, she don't know exactly how that man is going to react. You push the right button at the wrong time, and he just flips.
Mm.
Now you want to lie, but sometimes, like a man, like I've been in situations where the woman wants to argue. I'm like, I ain't talking about this. I'm getting my keys to go out the house to leave. I'm like, you stay there. I'm gone.
Right.
Then they grab the keys, lock the door. They don't want you to leave. They want to have the conversation. It's like this is not the time because me, I am not mentally in the capable of having a conversation. Because right now, all I'm thinking about is just destroying whatever's in front of me.
Right.
And the thing is that it goes from 0 to 100 in less than a second.
Right.
A lot of times, I mean, when it's two people, when it comes back to this back and forth arguing or disrespect, for one, the man has to realize that this is not what I want. Let me not just react. Let me take a few breaths, calm myself down, and respond in a sensible manner. Leave the area if I'm too hot. But then, too, the other person, they got to realize that, okay, maybe this is not the time. Let him cool off, and then we go back and address it a little later
Well, you
with
got to
calmer
remember this.
minds.
You have to remember this. If somebody's wanting to argue with you, they're not ever going to be logical in their thoughts
That's true.
because they are initiating the argument. So their
Hmm.
thoughts is about trying to make a point. They're trying to get a point across, and they don't care about nothing you said or nothing. They just, yeah, I heard what you said,
Yeah,
and they just trying to rush your answer along so they can say what they have to say, you
right.
know. And
Or
then
trying
if
to
you
talk over you.
right, exactly, if you start making a point, of on proving your point in a way that feels like you're getting too much, you're getting too correct about them,
Hmm.
who they are. That's when they get louder. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Push
Because you
back
hitting,
harder.
yeah, you done hitting all the right points. So that's part of it too. So I got some common mental health challenges amongst black men.
Hmm.
This is and this is pretty much the reason some may be angry is depression. Depression is one of the hidden things that's in all of us at one point.
Yeah.
At one point, we have been depressed about something that didn't go well. A death, job loss, breakup, whatever the case may be. So it's like
Right.
that alone, when it's unresolved, it'll get you into a point of, if you say something about my mama and she dead, so now I'm mad because I was depressed.
Hmm.
You know, I'm
Yeah.
depressed about, man, man, don't worry about that girl. She ain't say that girl was everything to me, dog, don't you? Now he's angry because he was
Yeah.
sitting in a depressed state. So a lot of people don't realize how these things coincide with one another. I'm sitting over here in a depressed state, and then all of a sudden you tell me about something. You thinking you joking, but I'm really living it.
Right.
You may be trying to cheer me up, but now I'm on this side of it. You know, so you got that part. Then you have anxiety. I
Hmm.
can't wait. I don't wait on nothing. I gotta go. It's like you jittery. You so to the point to where you having so much anxiety. You just like, man, I just want to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
See how all that ties right back into anger. Then you
Yep.
got the reason a lot of this post traumatic stress,
Hmm.
old issues that you have not resolved. That's why I explain to people you always have to go back to that inner child. Resolve that one. That way, the post traumatic stress will not even affect your day to day.
Right.
But we don't want to go
It's
back.
true.
We want to talk about old relationships. We want to talk about what somebody did, but we don't want to talk about what your mama did or didn't do to help you get through something. We didn't talk about the hugs that you didn't get growing up from your father. We didn't
Right.
talk about, because it's all stems from your childhood. The reason that we are into these mental health issues.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always say, always put your focus on that child that you were growing up, to erase a lot of these situations that you're going through or you growing through with your partners, with your job, with your whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
part of that. And then we have another one. It's called substance use disorder. And we all know
Hmm.
what that is. Things ain't going right. Fire that joint up. Things ain't going right.
Hmm.
Get that coke. Things ain't going right. Get some drink. You know,
Yep.
that's how we
And
medicated ourselves just to get through. But then
yeah.
what does that turn into? If you in the wrong situation, it turns back into anger.
Yeah. Because all you're
See,
doing is putting a band-aid on a bullet wound.
well,
It ain't
you
gonna
now
stop the
now you
bleeding.
putting now you putting gasoline on that fire
Yep.
because you already in this anger. Now you started drinking. Now you really foolish.
Yeah. That's gonna oh
That's
man, I can't even
that's
think
oh,
of it. Escalate,
that's
escalate,
yeah. There you go.
escalate what you already feeling. Yep.
Exactly. So
And then the least little word is gonna cause
right.
you to pop off.
And then the last one I wrote was stress related to discriminations. You know what I'm saying? Economic
Hmm.
pressures, traumas, stuff like that. So all of this ties right back into the anger part of this conversation because of the root of the problem caused you to be depressed, caused you to have anxiety, caused you to remember post traumatic stress. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
That's it.
we have to get back into that, shadow work.
Yes.
and that's resolving
Yes.
unresolved issues that we had growing up. And we don't want to we want to say, oh, we can't change the past, but
Mhm.
you can always reflect on the past and grasp some great things from it,
Right. But the past is what made you who you are. The thing is, who do you want to be? Because you can always change that going forward. You don't have to
But
let your past determine who you are.
the thing is,
Mhm.
we can't be unless we start to look at what we're trying to become.
Exactly.
Things to become, if you be in something, that means you're going to be, that's it, that's the end line. But when you're becoming something, put the coming right after the be. And when you're
Hmm.
becoming something, that means that's your journey. Your journey is going to be going on and on and on. But when you say, hey man, I'm trying to be a fireman, or I'm trying to be this, that's all you get. But when you go
Right.
back into that inner child and you say, hey, man, on this journey, I'm going to become this later on down in life. And that way you can elevate, go from the city councilman up to the Senate, to the government, to the, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you keep
Now
growing
you have
because
a
you keep
roadmap.
acknowledging, I mean, you stay in the awareness of where you really want to be at in life, where you want to go to in life. Because
Yes.
it's like with a lot of us, we don't slow down enough. Let me say that. We don't slow
Yeah.
down enough to read a book. We don't slow down enough to, listen to a podcast like the Elite Mancast. We just say,
Right.
hey, man, I got to go get this money. Oh, man, I got to go do this. And not
Yep.
realizing that the whole time, you still ain't going to get that accomplished in the way that you really did. You're not going to get the satisfaction out of it. Let me say that.
Right. That's true.
Because you still going back into those anxiety, to those depression, to that anger, to that, you still going back to them vices.
Yeah.
And I want to say this right quick before you go ahead and say the thing. I want you
Mhm.
to, I want people to realize that we need to slow down and to speed up. That is, that's for real, brother.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I wanted to say this right here. Train of thought. I just lost it. Got me.
You'll get it back. You'll get
Yeah,
it back.
yeah, 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 yeah. Go ahead,
But
give me
you know,
something.
in the research, I wrote down like, how do we get over this anger? How do we move forward? How do we start becoming? And the research, I put a post up a few weeks ago talking about assess, adapt, and overcome. These are things I learned in the military. Assess the situation, adapt to the situation, and then overcome the situation, right? But in the research about overcoming anger or moving through the three-step process, assess, adapt, and overcome. So, number one, assess. It says to ask yourself, what am I really feeling? What triggered this reaction? And is this situation happening now, or am I reacting to an old wound? So it's like
Yeah,
something that happened in the past and just triggered this, and now you're not even in the moment. You
right,
reacting off of something that happened to you way back when. Could have been an hour ago, or this morning, or years ago.
right, right,
And when it comes to adapting, you choose a response instead of reacting impulsively. So you pause before speaking, control your breathing, separate facts from assumptions, and focus on solutions instead of blame.
right.
And then to overcome, you use anger as fuel for growth. So you exercise. One of your favorites, you journal. You have difficult conversations respectfully. You seek mentorship or counseling when needed and develop emotional discipline because strong men don't eliminate anger, they learn how to direct it.
That's right.
So then I have some signs of healthy anger. You set boundaries. You're speaking truth respectfully. You're standing up for yourself or others, taking constructive action, or remaining in control during conflict. And that's the
Okay.
biggest part where people fail is they lose control because they react instead of respond.
Yeah.
So that remember I told you nowadays anything happen, I take a deep breath, I count at least to three. If it's something real bad, I count to 10 to cool myself down because I already know. I know how quick I can react, and I already know that reaction is not going to be good. So now, take that deep breath. I mean, I'm serious. I'm like,
Mm.
so count, and then I'll react or respond to whatever the situation is. But no
Well,
more
what
just
what
jumping
I've
right in.
learned, what I've learned in my self development is that it ain't about me. See, the
Yeah.
thing about how we grew up is that we think it's about us. The attack is not us.
Hmm.
Even though they can be in your face and doing all this, it's like that has something to do with their inner child. That has nothing to do with me.
Hmm.
My mama told me, she said, as long as they don't hit you, baby, don't worry about what they say. And I
Right.
didn't understand that until I became 50 years old, 55 years of age. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
didn't register with me because I was choosing to be in a lifestyle of the neighborhood, the streets, whatever. So now, if I see you getting loud, I just stare at you and allow you to finish your rant, your rave, whatever it is you're going through. And
Hmm.
I don't have to take a deep breath because I'm not the one that's upset. And you,
Right.
whatever you're doing to get yourself upset, that has to do with you, not me. I
True.
don't have
True.
nothing to do with your anger. And you will never be able to make me feel any type of way because I control me.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, when I say like when I take a deep breath, it's like, for example, at a truck stop, dude, I'm trying to get out, back up to move out of the way so the traffic can keep going. He cuts me off. I walk back to tell just to ask him to back up some. He starts cussing me out. I look at him. Now my natural reaction would have been to go right back at him the same way. I just look at him, take a deep breath, and went into the same phase that you would be in
Mhm.
because I realized it's not just about me. He pissed off about something that had nothing to do with me. But
Right.
I've been there because I've been pissed off about shit that happened all day long, like different scenarios, and then somebody do something, and now I'm ready to just do them in. So I
Right.
know how it is, but still, I had to take a deep breath because he came at me unexpectedly. Before I
Okay.
could even say anything, it's like bah, 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 bah. And he calling me all kind of MFs and did some talking about what he'll do. So I just took a deep breath and looked at him, and he looked at me when I took the deep breath. He's like, "Yo, you don't want to do that, bro." He don't realize I wasn't taking a deep breath because I was ready to jump on him. I'm taking a deep breath to keep me from going at him. So
Yeah, yeah.
so it changed the situation. I was like, all right. I turned around and walked off. But
Yeah.
see, that comes from this personal development because I know I don't just react like I used to.
Right.
It'd be like before somebody come at me, I'm coming right back at you the same way.
Right.
So it's not you can't punk me and you can't beat me. And if you think you can, like I told the dude once before, in order to beat me, you got to be willing to die because
Right.
I am. And I'm
Right.
not going to lose. It's like
Right.
that saying failure is not an option. That's what that means. I would die before I lose. So,
Mhm.
but we don't ever want to get to that point. And then now, those were the healthy sides of anger. Now, the unhealthy anger is explosive outbursts, violence or intimidation, constant resentment, revenge seeking, passive aggressive behavior, or self destructive choices.
Yeah.
All of these are just those unhealthy signs or uh, how they profess in life.
And that's
And a
and
lot
that's
of people doing it and don't know why.
And the crazy part is that self-inflicting suicide. Suicide has went up.
Mm-hmm.
Suicide has went up amongst black men in these last years, like percentages that number, 20-30%. It's like, for what?
Right.
They are, I'm gonna say, the media, because the government controls that. So that's what
Mm-hmm.
they put on the TV. That's what they created social media platforms for. That's what they created these things for. They'll tell you, oh, it's just to do this. But then in actuality, they know you're going to be on it because it's on your phone. You're going to be on it the
Mm-hmm.
majority of the day. So we're going to implement, oh, gay rights and demasculating the man, and we're not going to have men structure. Oh, it's no men's benefits, it's women's benefits, it's women's groups, it's women things. So you're looking at
Mm-hmm.
it like, okay, well, where do I stand in this whole thing? Now you're
Right.
confused because you don't have a place, you don't have a voice, you don't. And then once we start creating these platforms of having voices, somebody wants to come tell, oh, y'all just talking about men. Come on, man. What is that about? Why shouldn't we be talking about men? Because
Yeah,
real
we are men.
structured, disciplined men create environments of safety for the whole community.
Mm-hmm.
That's what.
Absolutely.
That's why we needing men, because
Hey,
we are trying. We are doing. I ain't gonna say we're trying. We ain't trying to do nothing. We're doing the work of creating safe spaces for our communities. And we're
right.
going to get our communities back, because these mental health issues come from the lack of men empowerment movements. That's
Mm-hmm.
why the community is at a disarray. That's why the community is not doing what they're supposed to do, because there's no men structure. Women feel like, oh, I got this. Yeah, you've been a single mother. We understand that. But it takes a village to raise the child. And we done got away from
Mm-hmm.
the village so far to where it's feel like women feel like they have to do everything on their own when you don't even have to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not your job. Let that man be a man and tell him to get with some other men so they can create safe spaces for y'all. If they don't feel like a man can, oh, he can't do that. No. If you put that man in the right environment, I guarantee you he'll protect, he'll provide without you even asking.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what they
And
say?
but
Well,
no, I'm listening.
actually, I remember when I was a kid when we talked about men. It meant everybody. It wasn't just the man. It's basically mankind is what we were talking about. So
Yeah,
'cause everything that affects men affects women.
right.
And sometimes it a lot of things like especially when it comes to these mental health topics, women talk with each other. Men
Hmm.
don't.
Right.
Men will hold stuff in till they die if
Like, I got this.
necessary.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got this.
because that's just the way we were taught as kids to be. Never
Right.
depend on somebody else. But when it's like I'm driving around. I talk with passengers or listen to passengers when they're talking, and the women are putting their men down right there, and I'm like, wow. Well, it ain't just black people that do that because oh, you can't do this. Let me do this. I got this. It's like men are not stupid. A lot of men just do things. It's like we take the simple way a lot of time because we don't want to go through all the dumb roundabout way of getting things done. We just do it, handle it, and get it over with. Women, they'll come up with this way to do things and this, and it's like it's too many movements, too many movement parts. I
Well,
want to go from point A to B, not
that
A,
goes back,
B, C, D, and back.
that goes back to what I just said as far as structure.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
That's exactly what it is.
yeah,
And
it's no
see,
structure.
because of that,
It's no more discipline. It's no more structure. It's no more guidance being able to be partaking on the man's side. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's like society has straight up disabled the man's voice, the man's life, the man.
hmm
You gotta be a man in private now. You can't even be a man out loud.
right?
What
Because then
the
you're
hell?
angry. They
Yeah.
think it's toxic masculinity, but it's not. A man being a man is always going to be to the wrong type woman. That is toxic masculinity because he's not going to just accept being yelled at and talked down to.
Well, if
And
he's a man, he's not gonna never yell at her.
right, he doesn't have to. But
Right.
the thing is, that's what I'm saying. The way things are now, it's like society has women
Right.
thinking that if a man stands up for himself and is
Right.
acting as a man, now he's toxic.
Right. I
It's
got you.
not that
Yeah.
he's an alpha male because alpha males don't put up with a lot of stuff that
Correct.
everybody else will put up with.
Right.
And I know because I put up with stuff, but it was like I would tolerate things just to keep the peace because I don't like arguing. Come
But
to
see, that
find
goes
out,
back.
just
That
keeping the
goes.
peace.
That goes back to finding new words, getting a higher education, getting a higher level of education. That way,
Mm-hmm.
when you don't feel like that you should have to do that, you know what I'm saying? Now you put the words in a different perspective on a woman to a woman's ear. If she can't understand that
Make us
level
think.
of communication that you're giving her, that means you round the wrong woman. And you should
Absolutely.
immediately stop talking to her at all costs. Don't have no
Mm-hmm.
conversations because she'll never hear you.
Mm-hmm. Should never understand. Right?
She would never hear anything that you say. It's not even the fact of understanding. She ain't even listening no more because she done went into disrespect mode. And she
Yep.
feels like that's not disrespectful because I seen my mama do it. I seen my auntie do it. I seen my
Exactly.
family do it. That ain't no disrespect. That's just how we do things. And how
Mm-hmm.
you do things is not the correct way on this different type of man. It might have worked on that type of man that you dealt with. But then he's going
Mm-hmm.
through a phase in life to where he only accepted, just like you said, the beta man. I'm only going to accept it. I'm going to just go with the flow. So I don't have
Yeah.
problems. But that's the beta man. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
he just whatever you say, honey, and that's not a man to me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's
Right.
less than because a man is not gonna go back and forth, and then he's gonna say, "Hey, this is what I'm doing in my house."
Yep.
Because if you're not controlling your own environment and your four walls that you pay the bills at, you ain't doing nothing.
Right.
But
You have
going to
no
be,
peace.
you have no peace. You have
Yeah.
none. That is
This
the
is,
truth, brother. You
and
would never
that's
be at
the
peace.
that's
Hmm.
the I would have to say the best thing about personal development because when you actually start reading and doing the work and stuff like that, you start to realize these things. Because I've seen myself, and I look back because I'm reflecting all the time about stuff, and it's like now I don't even know if I could even be in a relationship because it's stuff that you say this, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm hearing, but this is not what I'm accepting anymore. And when you tell the woman that, it's like, oh, well, I'm just joking. You got to lighten up. It ain't that serious. But it is that serious. Because
Yeah.
before, when I let that shit slide, it got to the point where it was too far
Right.
by the time I decided to react to it. So
Right.
now I'm just not letting it slide, not from
That's like
checking it
that.
right from the door.
Check it at the
Because
door.
I already know if I keep letting it go, it's like it makes no sense. Personal development is not getting to a point and then going back to doing what you did before.
Correct.
And that's why now I'm like, I really don't even know if I could deal with the woman. Maybe it's because I haven't gotten in touch with the right woman. I thought I did, but
Well, the thing about it is, though, Mike, what I've learned in this last days of finding a woman, you have to let her express herself, let her talk, and then you say, "Would I even deal with that? Is that even going in the direction that I'm going in?" And
that's
then
it.
that way, you're not even in a relationship because see, once sex get involved, then feelings get involved. So
Yep.
you don't even try to have a sex, you know what I'm saying? But you know, true enough, we got a lot of people out here who have representatives, and they will put the representative up there just to try to get what you and do what you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But you have to have the discernment and really keen eye on what it is that you're looking for. Because if it
Right.
doesn't fit the lifestyle that you're headed in, it'll never work. Because the growth pattern
Exactly.
that you own, that we've seen you come from, it's got to be a woman who's on that healing journey. If she's not talking about, I don't
Yes.
care about church. Don't tell me you go to church every Sunday, because then I'm gonna look at you funny anyway.
Yep. Cause that don't mean nothing.
Yeah, there's so many fakes in
Mhm.
the church house. That don't mean nothing to me. So tell me
Hey,
about, oh,
from
I'm
the
reading this book about Joe Dispenza's book about the placebo effect. Or I'm reading
mm,
Bruce Lipton's book, or I'm reading uh Guru Sar Guru, or whatever, or Jay Chetty, or some of these people who are about self-development, about becoming a better
right.
person, about finding the best version of yourself. If you're not reading the books that's gonna define you for your future, if you're not remembering your future, if you're not studying your future, I don't want it. All you do, if you that type of person that tell me about your past, I cut it off. Hey, you know what? I'm good on that. And then you getting less and less phone calls. You get me talking to you less, because all you doing is remembering
Hmm.
instead of reflecting and saying, hey, how can I grow from that situation that I go back to that mirror and check that
Hmm.
little inner child that you had to deal with.
Excuse me. Yep.
Because
Exactly.
a lot of people just don't want to deal with that inner child. Say, man, my mama was nothing to me, man. But then you still mad about it. You can't let it go, because your actions that reflect on what you didn't get as a child when
Right.
you faced with different situations. But that's where we have to understand and understand that if they're not part of your future, bro, just let them talk. And if they
Hmm.
sound like your ex-wife, or if they sound like a person from your past, if they sound like it the first time, you should be like, hey,
Yep.
you know what? Let them finish their day, finish the date or whatever it is. But, at the end of the day, like, hey, you know what?
Yep.
Hey, man, I don't think this is going to work, you know, because I'm just
Yeah.
listening to you. And from what I'm hearing, you're not reflecting, you're not doing, so I don't want to tell you how to be a person. I don't want to tell you the type of woman you need to be, but I'm not going to allow that in my realm right now, in my space right now, because that's not benefiting
Right.
me on my journey. I had a great
Exactly.
time tonight, whatever the case was, but talking about anything that hurt you, talking about anything that you didn't get growing up, that's just not going to work with me. And especially if you
Right.
don't know what to do with yourself when you do make it. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I get this, I say, like, what are you doing with, so like if you get the best job you ever had, what would you do with that? You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Oh, I work my way to the top. It's like, okay. And then it's like if you never put in time to say, hey, I'm gonna put my money into myself. If you're not gonna bet on yourself, I could never bet with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I deal with people who bet on themselves, man. And waking up to that person who bets on themselves compared to waking up to a person who betting on somebody else to give them money, to get them a job, to get them. We got two different mindsets. It's two different dogs in this fight,
Right.
man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's two different kinds of dogs. Yeah, you ain't the dog that I'm talking about running. I'm running the packs of real wolves. Where we wake up every morning and we bet on us to win.
Yes.
I don't go find out, hey man, let me go see if this man gonna give me. I'm gonna fund his dream. You know, but we gotta,
Yep.
as men, we will become better than what we are right now.
Yes.
And we will get back to that man, when a man was, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
and not none of that.
Right.
Yeah, we don't like that.
Nah.
But
That's
that's what we have to do is get back off into what we used to say, ah, journaling.
yeah.
Journal. Yeah.
And that's something I still haven't gotten into. Just
Writing
sitting
it
back,
down.
writing down my thoughts and how I'm feeling and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Never wrote it down. I'm try it and see how it works out for me. I'll give it at least about a month
And even if you don't
and
want to do
see.
that, I always tell people, man, just look in the mirror, man, and have that conversation.
Hmm.
But you got to have a real
Yeah, who I am.
conversation. You know,
Right.
that's better than journaling to me.
Hmm.
Yeah, because you can look yourself in the eyes and lie to you. You need to fix that right there. That's
For
a
real.
part. That's a big part you need to fix, man.
Yep.
You know. But yeah, we
That's
we
true.
we definitely out here in a world that's excuse me, that's really directing their distractions towards men
Yeah.
to be out balance.
Right. That's exactly what it is. It's like I heard once a guy saying this world is designed to give you everything you need to destroy yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Thing is, are you going to use it? Or are you going to do what you can to build yourself up?
It's like growing up, I didn't know how to utilize money. I thought money was meant to be spent.
Me either.
You know?
Yep.
And now, as I kept growing in my development, it's a tool. They keep telling me it's a tool. It's a tool.
Hmm.
Use it in your toolkit in the right way, and it'll work for you.
Yes.
And didn't learn that until 54, 53.
Yep.
Boy, as soon as I got some money, I was blowing. Yeah, let's go. Throw it out the window.
That was me.
You know.
That was me
Now,
partying every night.
yeah, I do put like $50, $60, $70, if whatever I got extra. But I pay myself first now, you
Hmm.
know, and I put that into the brokerage account. So you
Right.
set up your brokerage account. You can't take that money direct. It takes 2 days for you to get that money, or 3 days, something like that, for you to pull money out of it. So that
Hmm.
right there alone, that's a deterrent of you put money in. It's like if you put money in the bank, you can go right back and get it.
Right.
But if you put money into a brokerage account, it takes days, and then you're gonna be like, man, I ain't got 3 days to wait. I need this money now. So
And
you'll
then
go
you go
to
get it from
another
somewhere.
source to try to get it. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's why I use the brokerage account as a bank. But at the same
Right.
time, I made some great investments on some REITs, some real estate and
Investment. Yeah.
yeah, investment trust that it's paying off. You know what I'm saying? So that money is sitting there and it's growing.
Hmm.
So that's a plus. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we got to learn how to utilize these tools, man, and then we have to want to learn new information.
That's a big part of it right there.
Right.
The will to learn,
The
wanting to
will,
learn.
the will to learn new information.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we get so comfortable in where we at, and we making the money, we got the
Hmm.
car, we get, but then we don't have that extra. It's like,
Right.
where's the extra? I'm supposed to have more, but you can't
Hmm.
have more because all you think about is the past. Think about
Right.
what didn't go right, what did, whoa, 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 you know. But that's,
Shoot.
you know, that's some of us. Some of us are in other positions in life too, for that thought
Yeah.
process. So we have to
Yeah.
always keep in perspective, man, of what is it that you want out of this world, because that if you allow that mental health issue to keep attacking you, you'll stay yourself stagnant in the same position for the next 5 years, because of the people that you
Hmm.
hang around, because of the things that you're feeding your brain, the things that you looking at through your eye gate. That's why they always say you have to protect your gates. You
Yeah.
protect your mouth gate, you protect your eye gate, your ear gate,
Yeah.
and your whole soul gate. You know, for your what you your energy field. I mean, yeah. What
Hmm.
kind of energy are you allowing to your soul? Because a lot of times, like we always say, you grew up in that toxic environment. You grew up in that toxic environment and you didn't even know it was toxic. It's like if you living in a
Right.
living room, you stay in a house full of shit. You don't even know it's stinking there no more. Man,
Right. You got
somebody else
so
looking
used to
outside walk in, they like, God, man, what is the fucking smell? What smell? What?
it. Yeah.
But that's the life that a lot of us are living. You know what I'm saying? We don't even see the toxic behavior. We don't even see the stink that's on us. All we see
Mhm.
is this is the pattern that I'm gonna keep creating or I'm gonna keep using because this pattern has worked for me. This pattern
Right.
has gotten me to this point. I got my own place. I got my own car. No, you got a liability. You don't have your own nothing because that's still not paid for. You're still
Right.
paying on it. You're still giving up money, and then you haven't generated another source of income to pay for that. You only got one source of income paying for two things that need to be paid for.
Right.
So that's a mental health issue right there. Because if you're thinking in your mindset, because that's how we were taught growing up, get a good job, go to work, you know, do this. No, no. That's a mental health issue in itself. To
Hmm.
think that the money that I go, my hard back, you know, my stiff joints, I gotta sit down at this desk all day, every day. And then when I get this money, I gotta give it to two other people
Hmm.
just so I can live a style of life. Instead of saying, you know what, while I'm working here, let me put this,
Building.
let me put this money somewhere else. And people think you gotta have millions of dollars. Bro, it doesn't take money. It doesn't take a lot of money. You can I got this thing that I use now. I mean I've been using. It's acorns. And it
Hmm.
and it
I've been
and
using
you,
that
and
coin for years. Yep.
yeah, you keep your card connected to it, and Acorn
Hmm.
pays you, bro. I got up to $1,000 by swiping that card. They take the rollover. You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? I done got up to it's so much money in the Acorns account to where I swipe that card, it's keep on putting money in there, and I don't even touch it. And then if you try to take $1,000 out, they want to see a photo. They want you to take a picture of your eyes and put it
Right.
by your face. Who is finna go through all of that?
Yeah.
That's some money that you didn't even realize that was in there. And that's the
Yeah.
beauty of all of these systems set up when you learn how to make your money, allow your money to work for you instead of going to a job every day just to pay other people. And then you thinking you on top because your car is bigger, your house is
Hmm.
bigger. Oh, but you're paying for that, man.
Yeah.
Where's the income that's paying for that car? Where is that income? Where's the income that's paying for that house? So you can keep your money and go take a trip for a
Right.
week. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people take vacations for 3 days. Oh man. Man, I go on vacation, I'm staying 5 days somewhere. I'm not
Hmm.
going for no 2 and 3 days. I'm just not gonna do it. If it ain't 5 days, I'm not going. I'm trying to. I ain't gonna say I'm trying. I'm working myself towards it where I can get this, create this income where I can stay gone for 2 weeks,
Hmm.
and that's how
Yeah.
you enjoy yourself. And that's what it's called a
For
vacation.
real.
Because we gone for 2 weeks. over here out the country, and we don't have no
Mm-hmm.
worries, no cares, no stress, none of that. Because once you get to a certain level, you're not gonna have people looking for you every day. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Your kids grown, and they not gonna call you but once or twice every week, 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
I know they don't call me probably about once or twice a month, and they call them when they need the money. So it ain't even about
Yep.
that. So we do have to address these mental health issues, man, throughout our lives, throughout our day to day, because mental health issues are very serious, man. And most of it comes from financial stress, exposure to violence, discrimination, or racism, pressure to appear strong,
Mm-hmm.
self-reliant, and then the stigma around asking for help. So once you
Right.
don't want to ask for help, that's a mental issue. If you feel like that, you creating a lifestyle by adding more bills, that's a mental issue. Um,
Right.
you know, yeah, I'm living it up. How? If your money ain't coming in, if you ain't there, it ain't you ain't living it up.
Right. It's true.
That's why I had to, because I used to talk about doing investments and all of that, the stock market, but I ain't never do it until 2021, 22 is when I
Mm-hmm.
opened up that brokerage account, and I see me putting $50 in every other week, me putting $20 in every week, whatever the case was. I seen where my money was going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You keep opening these brand new tickets. You like, shit, man, I got this, and boom, boom, and you just steady putting it in there. It's like, well, how you gonna lose?
True.
We
True
don't
that.
want to. We don't want to do our research no more, because researching is not the encyclopedia. Because once we start researching on our phone, what do? Get a notification from Facebook.
Yep.
Oh, let's see
You
what they
gotta tap
say.
it.
Now you
Right.
distracted. You got distracted. That's a mental issue. Being able to
Yeah.
be distracted that fast is a mental issue.
Yeah. 'Cause you got no focus.
None. No discipline at all.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a disciplined person. But man, y'all
It's
go this
true.
week, man, this year. I mean, sometime in this month. I know it's Father's Day month, but
Yeah.
just don't give the man a month, y'all. Get a man every day of y'all life, man. If he's a man who's out here trying to do better, if he's a man out here who's walking in his purpose, if he's a man out here who's looking to be a better father, better brother, better son, y'all get that man his props, man. Quit
Yeah.
trying to downplay the man, because the man, even though they're talking to mankind, but a valuable man will get you further in life, you know,
True.
because a lot of men say, "Oh, I'm a man," but you don't bring value. I like what you do with the recaps, man. The recaps were very,
Mm-hmm.
very helpful for those who don't, look at the show. So that's a
Right.
value. That's a value component right there in itself, to
And that's
always
coming back.
bring awareness, to the folks. Yeah, man. The thing about it is, even when nobody's looking, they're looking. This is the
Right.
internet. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, I noticed that.
Yeah,
I
this
had
is
some
the
people tell me, "Yo, man, a brother I ain't talked to in like over 20 years hit me up about one of the recaps, talking about, yo, man, I really felt that. I really needed to hear this information, and
yeah,
I ain't never seen a like or nothing. No, I didn't even know the
no,
dude was on my
right,
page. None of that stuff.
right,
But then I kind of
right.
let it slip off because I had other stuff going on. But that's coming back
Yeah, yeah,
because it's
man.
important.
Now, me and my brothers were talking last night. I got some people down here from Dallas, and he was just explaining to me how he was, how he appreciate my journey, you know. to uproot and leave your hometown without no support, without nobody backing you, without you don't even have a couch to sleep on. You got to
Hmm.
figure these things out as you go day to day. And that's my story. You know what I'm saying? My story, you drop me off anywhere, I'm going to make it. It's like when I was
Right.
19, I left home and went up to Indiana with $30 with my cousin. You know what I'm saying? He said he got my back, but it was more or less like, man, all I need you to do is just get me a place to sleep for the first month.
Right.
Then come to find out the first night, I move in with his ex-girlfriend because she was just tramped out like that.
Hmm. Damn.
I had me a spot for about 6 months, you know what I'm saying, until
Hmm.
I got my bearings together and got my money together, and boom, I'm gone.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you gotta always be on your pivot to where how can I transform? How can I pivot quicker than sitting? That's so
Right. Right.
that's these are the issues. These are the you know what I'm saying. These are the things that we have to make sure we still on. But yeah,
Right.
bro, it's been a great show. This was therapy. This was therapy right here.
Yeah, for real.
You know.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, man, it's already been an hour.
Man, I'm telling you, look how fast it go. You don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Because that's what
Nah.
we having good conversation, good dialogues bring about. That's what they say. Time is where time flies when you're having fun.
When you're having fun, basically, that's what it was. Cause we learning something as well as having a conversation. You just go mute, Keith.
I guess this that weather.
Oh, there you go. Now I hear you again.
Well, I don't know where Mike went, but hey, next week, man, y'all come back, join us, tune in, tell a friend, man. Always remember to do the inner work, do the work on the inner child. Do that work on that inner child. Get that inner child to a place of safety. Get that inner child to a place of understanding that it's not their fault, that they were still growing, that you do appreciate them being patient. So hey, y'all till next week. Mike, you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Yeah, we had
Okay.
we out. There's weather bad around here, so
Okay. Y'all got the storms down there?
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll go out with something real simple. A man's greatest battle is often not against the world around him, but against the doubt, the fear, the limitations within himself. Master the mind, and the rest will follow.
So man, y'all come back next week. Tune in, hang out with us. We appreciate those who came in. We appreciate those who didn't. Till next
True that.
time. Till next week. Peace.
Peace. Go, Mo.
Yes, sir.